fiber art that you can make with wool mohair is very enchanting and very exciting. I know there are many of you out there who are going to create amazing felt work with mohair. For example, take a look at this felted hat by @mynooshart on Instagram while I lay out the fiber for this tutorial. And this is only one example of the amazing artwork that you can create with mohair. Now that my felt is laid out, if you haven't felted before, you will want to check out how to make a piece of felt first before applying techniques to your project. When purchasing mohair locks, look for locks that have a lot of dense, twisted and curls in them and less fuzzy pieces. The fuzzy pieces just felt into the wool and they sort of disappear, and the curl also kind of goes away, unless this is what you're after. To achieve that accentuated curl, you will want to purchase locks that are very curly and sheeny. Felting with locks and other fibers is something that you can play around with and experiment more by adding other fibers and elements to make very textual art pieces. And I'm going to show you that in another tutorial where I add all kinds of different elements to the design to make a magical sort of fairy felt. And just in case you're interested in that, don't forget to subscribe! Depending on the look you want to achieve, you can spread out your mohair locks as much or as little as you like, but keep in mind that mohair locks do not actually felt together themselves, and they require the wool fiber to bind. If you lay your wool lock on top of another wool lock, then the wool lock will just come off once you are done felting. If you would like to make your wool locks thicker, you could apply a piece of wool in between and layer your locks. What I am doing now is creating a sample of what a wool mohair cuff might look like. By laying the mohair locks on the edge of my felt, I can create a beautiful mohair fluffy edging for stunning effects on felted cuffs or edging of a felted hat. Or what about a felted lampshade? That gets me super excited, and this is something I'm thinking now that I want to do. I'm going to make myself a felted lampshade, and I just love this color because it's going to bring so much warmth to the room. And ooh-wee, this sounds like another great video idea. Now that I have finished laying out my mohair across the edge, I am placing some wool fiber on top to cover up my edges for design aesthetic. You do not need to do this yourself. By laying wool on top of the mohair, I could lay another layer of mohair locks for an extra fluffy edge. I realize now that I did not flip my project over in the design part, and I did not add wool to the bottom of my mohair edge. It is going to felt just fine, but you could flip your project over and add a little bit of wool so that the mohair locks blend into the fiber a little bit more. And now that it is half felted, it is kind of looking like a wet poodle. I kind of wish I covered up the lock ends a little bit more, but I am happy with it so far. I think it looks super cute. The mohair locks have felted into my fiber, and now that I feel they are quite strong in there, I am just spreading them apart a little bit to make them look a little bit fluffy and prettier. This is something you can do as well when it's dry. You can even brush your mohair locks for a different effect. It is not the typical felted, crisp, clean lines that I adore, but when I see artwork and other artwork that others are making using mohair, I adore it. It's just so magical and so soft to touch. I hope this video was helpful for you, and I really hope this technique has inspired you to create your own mohair artwork. I have so many ideas, and I can imagine that you might have some ideas as well. If you have any questions or if there is something that you would love to see, please leave it in the comments, and I hope to see you in the next video.